Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine.
My name is Atul and I'll be the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. I welcome you all on behalf of NCDC Club. Before the start of the meeting, I would like to mention 3 ground rules. Number 1 is please switch off your mobile phone or put it on a silent mode. Please do it now. As a Toastmaster, we don't talk about gender, religion, and politics. So please avoid talking about the same. Please refrain cross-talking while others are playing their roles or people are giving speech. To succeed in life, everyone has a mission. Similarly, we as a club have a mission. So I would request everyone to stand up and speak after me the mission of our club. The mission of our club is to provide positive and supportive learning experience in which every member is given equal opportunity to develop communication and leadership skill, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I formally announce the meeting number, NCTC meeting number 464, and I would like to invite our presiding officer, Vivek.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling today?
Great.
Good, great. So let's change the rule. Today you have to say super. Great. How are you feeling today?
Super.
Great, thank you. So before we start, we would like to welcome 3 new member addition in MCTC family. Toastmaster Aparna, Toastmaster Harsh, and Toastmaster Surinder. Let's give a big round of applause. How are you feeling now? Okay, what's the name? Nitin Verma. Toastmaster Nitin Verma. You have joined or guest? So, this is the members who have joined the club. You are guest, right? Yeah. Yes. You are guest also. Okay. So please. So these 3 members, Aparna, Surinder, and Harsh, welcome once again to MCTC family. How are you feeling now? Great. Good retention. Yes, but Aparna joined last week. For retention, we need attention. And for learning leadership and communication skill, we need attention. Can we play one game? Yes. Please rise on your seat. Please stand up. Bring your right hand forward. Shake your hand. Make a fist. Bring your hand close to your chest. Put it on your chin. Put it on your chin. Put it on your chin. Oh, most of you. You are not paying attention. Most of you put here. So please sit down. It has two meanings. One, I said for attention. There is another meaning for this. People do what they observe rather than people do what they listen. So there are two different meaning in different contexts. So here we were talking about attention. So I have three announcements today. Announcement number one. So before we announce, I'd like to give a gift. Today's day. Toastmaster Atul Maheswari. Toastmaster Ganesh Joshi. Toastmaster Deepanshu. Toastmaster Jindal is not here. Toastmaster Asisa. Next announcement on 17 September, all Toastmasters in Delhi and all the veteran Toastmasters around NCR and from different part of the country also. They are coming to Delhi on 17th and they're here with the accomplished Toastmasters. So please do that. And the next, we have started Toastmaster of the Month award. So last month, award was declared, but the Toastmaster Abhishek Soni, he was not available. 2 days, oh, you got? Okay, he was there. Then I was not there. And this, sorry, yeah. For this month Toastmaster award, already the team has finalized. So we will be declaring Toastmaster of the month. Apart from that, in last two meetings, we have, and yesterday we had EC meeting. Certain proposal we have added. The one, we are going to have 5 minutes break in between meeting, and meeting time is going to be extended till 12:35 to adjust this. And officially meeting would be till 12:45, but we will try to finish our agenda by 12:35. Yes, that's so we will try to adjust in that 2 hours. So another announcement, you rightly said, we will start adding body language evaluator. It will help us to improve our speech, and this we learned last week in a joint meeting. And today, Toastmaster Vakul has taken at the last moment this role. So we were thinking, if he comes, we will give him. Yesterday we decided. Yeah, in EC meeting we decided, if Vakul sir comes, we will give, or Reena, we were talking about you as well, if you come. So since you have taken last moment general evaluator role, so we thought, let Vakul sir take this role. Before further ado, today's Toastmaster of the day is architecture student, right, from IP University, and he is the architect of the meeting. He is a dynamic young Toastmaster of this club. He is from, he is Toastmaster since September 2018, 4 years, right? So welcome Toastmaster Deepanshu, and have a great round of applause for you. Toastmaster Deepanshu. Oh, sorry, I forgot. So we have many guests today. I don't name your name. So can you stand up and let's. What's your name? What you do? Why you are coming here? How you got this information about Toastmaster? Brief about you and.
My name is Nitin Verma, and I'm an IT professional, and I'm living in Sector 46, and I came to know Toastmaster proposal selection and from the I'm a very introvert person, so I want to get characteristic from my character.
So you are at right place. Thank you and welcome to this class. Yes.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. My name is Zaima, and Zaima. So my name means the leader. So I hope somewhere I can lead Toastmasters as well. And yeah, I came to know about Toastmasters through my husband, who's already a Toastmaster, by the way. So yeah.
Welcome.
I was there last meeting as well, so I can see.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and Toastmasters, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Toastmaster Shreya. Back in this wonderful environment of Toastmasters after a hiatus of almost 6 years. My wife and I, Zaima, we visited the joint meeting at Gurgaon Toastmasters last week. My intent was to introduce her to the concept, but I myself gravitated towards attending and joining the club once again. It's given me so much. By profession, I'm a journalist. I currently work with the Reader's Digest. But by heart, at heart, I'm a musician. So that's who I am, and it's good to be back here.
Hello everyone, my name is Sashi, and I'm a software teacher by profession. And I want to know about this concept from my brother. And I want to join to improve my personality and communication skills. And I give my short intro. I'm a software teacher by profession and a photographer by passion and artist by nature.
Great. Welcome. Artist. Artist by nature and photographer, right? With your passion. We would like to have you in our club. Yes.
And I'm currently pursuing my graduation from Millennium University. And the reason why I'm standing here is that a month back I was reading more people that have improved my communication and communication skills. So
Sorry, what you say? Oh, great. Great, welcome.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good morning.
My name is Sept. I'm the president of the Toastmasters Club. I travel from India for medical treatment, and I asked about Toastmasters there. Toastmasters Club around me so that I can learn and experience this learning practice. So I'm here actually, I reached out to Toastmasters Deepanshu. I'm also by profession, I'm banking, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Welcome.
Toastmasters, I am Reena. Because people say once a Toastmaster, I was a Toastmaster, and then life came to happen. I work with leaders to help them transition into their new management roles fast. I have 20 plus of office experience, also in TMOD, industries, etc. And I use that to help my clients be visible, valued, and rewarded. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Shreya. I'm currently working as a HR professional.
What's your name?
Shalin.
So the motive of coming here is working on my stage for speaking experience. Because I have major stage fear, and I think standing here, I feel very good about myself. If you should possibly work on the words that I'm here and
Good day everyone, I am Piyush. I am a UPSC aspirant and I got to know about Toastmasters from you.
today. And my goal from coming here is to improve my public speaking skills and improve my communication skills.
Thank you. I think yeah. One more guest.
I'm Pooja, and in growing up, I've always enjoyed being part of debates and public speaking, but I've always had jelly feet, like I used to get those, and I used to actually to do with that. I'm very, very nervous about it. So hopefully, I'm hoping this can help me with it in that sense.
Thank you. So Toastmaster Deepanshu. So already I have told about Toastmaster Deepanshu, most dynamic Toastmaster. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivekananda, for that introduction. I'm very much humbled. So, how are you all doing?
Great, super.
Let's do it the less wrong way. So, I'm going to ask you, how are you doing? And you are going to say better than good and better than most. So, how are you doing?
Better than good, better than most.
Fantastic. That's the spirit. So, welcome all the Toastmasters and guests to the meeting number 464. The meeting number 464 signifies a very important thing. It means that this club has been meeting every Sunday for the past 9 years. The meeting theme for today is mental models. We're going to know about mental models. Yeah. So the meeting structure for the benefit of guests, any regular Toastmasters meeting is divided into three major parts. So all these three major parts signifies the most important aspect of communications. For example, the section speakers who have already prepared their speech in well in advance are going to present it in front of us. So it's about better speaking. Second is table topics. Table topics, the table topic master is going to give you a topic and you have to think on the feet. So it's about better thinking, another very important aspect of communication. And section 3 is evaluation, which is better listening. Feedback makes us a better person, right? So this is the meeting structure. For the feedback and for the voting, for the benefit of members and guests, there's going to be a link on the WhatsApp group. And for the guests, please reach out to the nearby member, and he will show you he or she will show you a QR code. Please scan it and give your valuable feedback to every speaker. We will have 1 minute silence for the feedback after every note. Now, the word of the day for today is stirring. It's an adjective. Its meaning is to make somebody feel a strong emotion, capable of arousing enthusiasm or excitement. Now, synonyms are rousing, stimulating, exciting. The use of stirring in a sentence could be his stirring speech heated the audience imagination. The guest speaker made a stirring speech. The evaluation made a stirring impact. So I linked the word of the day to the Toastmasters thing, requesting everyone, if you whenever you get a chance to speak on the stage, use the word of the day as much as possible. Now, a good laugh recharges your battery. To recharge our battery today, we have a joke master. She is a Toastmaster since August 2022, a very new Toastmaster. She is a BCom and MBA. She is currently preparing for UPSC, the toughest exam in the world, I guess. And her hobbies are playing badminton and traveling. Gentlemen, please welcome Toastmaster.
Good morning, dear Toastmaster and dear friends.
Good morning.
So, how many of you still use landline phones? Anyone? Okay. So, actually, I would like to share a story with you. So, one day, my father received MTNL bill, landline bill. So, and he was shocked because nowadays nobody use landline phones. So because he sorry because the not because of bill, but the amount he was supposed to pay. So he decided to for a meeting. So he called me, my mother, my brother, my sister, and my grandmother. And then and we were like, what is the issue? So he said, I don't use landline phone. I use my work phone. And my mother, similarly, she said, I don't use phone at all. And then my brother was very little and very small, sorry. And my sister, she was studying. So then all eyes turned toward me. And I was jobless. So then I said, I also don't use landline phone. I have my own phone. Then all eyes turned towards my maid. So she was like, then what is the issue? Then all use their work phone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shreya, for making us all smile. Now, feedback is a very important thing. It is actually the heart of Toastmasters. Bill Gates said we all need people who give us feedback. That's how we improve. Now to conduct the feedback session, the evaluation session for today, we have a member who is a prolific speaker. She is a member since October 2019. She is a BE instrumentation. She is a freelance corporate trainer, and her hobbies are painting, TEDx, learning new things. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Toastmaster Reena.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Good to see you all of you here. So my role has been explained, but who am I? Can someone answer that question? Who am I?
Scanning machine.
Huh?
You will scanning machine.
Okay.
Okay.
A monitor. What else? Okay, I'm police. I'm someone. I'm carrying something with me. So metaphorically speaking, I am something which is there in this pouch. Any guesses?
Lens.
And TM Vivekananda actually got it right. Yeah. So I'm the magnifying lens of today's meeting. Yeah. What is the use of it? How do we use a magnifying lens?
Just to check that whether the meeting is going on.
Really stirring, but there's always scope to improve. It's such a huge crowd, and so many things are going to happen on this stage today. So I've got a team with me. For the benefit of guests, let me explain that what exactly I'll be doing. My role is divided into three parts. First, I'm going to introduce my team to you. The team is going to share their objectives, what exactly they'll be looking into. And later on, I'm going to evaluate my evaluators and my team. I'm not going to evaluate the speakers. That job will be done by someone else, right? So, yeah, sort of. Let's stick to magnifying lens for today. That's for some other day. Okay, so I've got a set of evaluators whom I'll be introducing later. But let me introduce my tag team. We have a timer, an hour counter, a grammarian, and for the first time, we have a body language evaluator this time. Yeah. So help me welcome TM Harsh. TM Harsh is going to read the objectives. What exactly is the timing guidelines? TM Harsh.
Good morning, Toastmaster and guests. As a timer, I will monitor and record for each meeting segment and each speaker. I will monitor the timing signal indicating to speaker how long he or she has been taking. For prepared speech, I show green card will be shown at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. The speaker shall have 30 minutes to close. 30 seconds to close. For table topics, green card will shown at 1 minute, yellow card at 1.5 minutes, red card at 2 minutes. The speaker shall have 10 seconds more to close. For evaluation, green cards will be shown at 2 minutes, yellow cards will be shown at 2.5 minutes, and red card at 3 minutes. The speaker shall have 30 seconds more to close. In addition, I shall signal the president, Toastmaster, table topic master, and general evaluator with red card when they have reached their allotted or agreed upon the time limit. When called by the general evaluator, I shall announce the speaker's name and time taken. I shall also mention those members who are eligible. Thank you.
You're doing this wrong. Can we have a huge round of applause? So that is, so he's going to look out, what are the time frames which have been given to you, allotted to you, whether you are speaking in that time. Time is very important out here. My second team member is Team Surinder, who's the R counter. May I request Team Surinder to please come here.
Good morning, Toastmasters, and welcome to all the guests.
Good morning. Good morning.
As today, my role is to count the hours, long pauses. Even I believe I am one of the great user of that. But it also helps me to focus on these things when I speak, and when generally everyone when speaks, there is some problem. We just listen, not listen carefully. But now today I have to roll. I have to listen carefully. Then when I speak, I will find out my own mistakes. I will not take too much time. Just will read out this objective of the role. As an counter, I shall take the note of crutch words like well, when, what, so, sound such as any repeated words like this means these type of words. When we this generally this comes over when we are nervous and we just get a blank out. This role I have to take, and I also take consider the long pauses as well. And when called upon by general evaluator to me, I will present my report. Thank you.
Can we have a huge round of applause for him? A disclaimer, my team is new. You have to be kind to them. Okay? And now you've got TM Abhishek Soni, who's playing the role of grammarian. TM Abhishek.
Good morning, my dear Toastmaster and my fellow guests. Good morning. As a grammarian, I shall be taking care of your word uses, like how you're speaking out in a correct manner or not, the whether the while speaking how much the word, like I will taking time taking of malpropism, but how noting down the incorrect grammar that are used by the speakers. Along with this, I also noting down how many times the word of the used by the.
You may not be able to create a stirring speech, right? I will watch that body language, not only of the speakers, but the audience as well. Because sometimes hostile audience can make the speaker nervous. When somebody is speaking here, and if you are on your mobile phone and somebody was there, it makes the speaker nervous. So I will observe and share the entire report at the end. Are you all ready with that? Yes.
So that's the team which we have. They are going to be at the back end working when people are going to be coming here on the stage and speaking. Yeah. So with that, let's.
I think those ones have some question. No, when you're talking about body language, when you told us that you can see the people, you need to say that the people like me sometimes sleep. Watch by your body language.
Yes, I will. but because of the impact of the speaker, somebody's body language has become little sleepy.
On that note, may I request our Toastmaster of the day back on the stage? Can we have a huge round of applause?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Reena, for conducting the session. Yeah, so the theme for today is mental models. So before I start, I'd like to ask you, have you ever heard about mental models before? Okay. So what do you think mental models are? So anyone?
Basically, how we perceive the things, how we relate, correlate with one perspective to another, and our understanding from some phenomena.
Yeah, quite right, Jindal. Anyone else? What our mental models are?
There are certain models
Yeah.
which helps you in taking faster decision,
Yeah.
which is already proven over a period of time.
there will be more than 100 mental models.
Yeah, to the point, very much Vivek sir. So mental models, I'll explain you with an example. Think of yourself as an archer and you are going on a battle. Now, at a certain time, you can only take some amount of arrows with you, right? So there is a limit to the number of arrows you can take. So mental models are like these arrows. So these are way of thinking which help you take a better decision. So taking a decision is like a battle, right? So this is the main aspect of mental models. So there are certain mental models that help you take certain very good decisions. Now, where I have heard about this term and how I have come to know about it. So I read this book, which is Poor Charlie's Almanac, which is the autobiography of Charlie Munger. Anyone have ever heard of Charlie Munger before?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So he is like one of the greatest investors of our time, and he's also the partner of Warren Buffett. So he is a very funny guy. He is hilarious if you read his book. So before reading his book, my understanding of a smart person, of someone who is great in making decisions, was that a person who is very intelligent and a person who has an IQ of 160 plus. That was my perception of someone who is on the tippy top of their field. But after reading his book, I realized that this is exactly not the case. What really happens is that the people who are on the tippy top of their field, there are certain checklists. They go to a checklist model of thinking. So there are certain mental models, and they quickly go through it, and then they make a decision. So today I'm going to share you three models that have helped me immeasurably in my life. And these models are very simple. You can start applying to see the changes. So the first model is invert, always invert. Now, before making a decision, what we usually do? We do our due diligence, we go to so many places, we ask information, collect so many information, prepare for the worst, and so many things we do. But even that, we fail, right? So in a commencement speech at Harvard, what Charlie Munger said that I don't know the secret of happiness, but I really know what will cause a very dissatisfactory and a very miserable life. There are three short ways to have a miserable life: ingesting chemicals, envy, and resentment. So the idea of this concept is that whenever you are making a decision, invert it, flip it. For example, if you are taking a decision, instead of thinking what I have to take, what are the steps I have to make in order to fulfill, get the desired result, focus on what I have to avoid to not get that to get the desired result. For example, where I use it is very simple. So whenever the time of conflict, the anger is bursting upon you, I use this invert or this invert. So what I do is that I think that what are the ways that will deteriorate the situation much more. So shouting is definitely going to deteriorate the situation more. Disrespecting each other is going to deteriorate the situation more. So by inverting the situation, what I have to avoid, I don't make the successful results, but I definitely avoid the situation that would deteriorate that particular scene. So what Charlie Munger says is that the people who became successful and the people who die successful, are not the people who have success throughout their life. They had failures. Failure is inevitable part of life, but they are the people who avoided the biggest stupid decision in their life. So what really happens is that are psychological people. We make foolish decisions, and that's the cause of most of the downfall. If you have seen people who are rich people and they got to the poverty. So this is the thing. So what to end this particular model, I say that what Charlie Munger said, that all I want to know is where I am going to die, and I will never go there. So this is a very practical model you can always use. The second model is appeal to interest, not to reason. I'll share you with an example. So in ancient Roman, there was huge corruption. The bridge builders used to do a lot of corruption, and just after 1 or 2 years, the bridge used to collapse. So what the king of Rome did was that he made sure that all the bridge builders will sit under the bridge when it is going to be first time used. So that changes incentives. So no is now going to left any redundancy in making that bridge. He is not going to do any corruption because his life is involved. So that is the power of incentive that Romans realized. I'll show you one more example. A delivery company which is known as FedEx. So they are having a huge problem in their core business model, which is to get to get all the shipments from the aircraft to be shipped into a central location. So they were having a huge problem with their night shift workers. No matter how hard they try, no matter how much salary they increase, there is no way that the night workers are going to ship all that shipment in time. So, they even try to appeal to their moral code. You are getting paid to do this, but that doesn't work. So, one of the person who understood this model, which is appeal to interest, not to reason, what it does that in order, so all the night workers were paid by per hour shift. So, instead of paying them per hour, he started to paying them per shift. So whenever you ship when you ship the all the shipment on time in the central location, you can go home. So that's the power of incentives. Everyone wants to go home early. So even in a fortnight, all the problem of FedEx got away. So that's the beauty of this mental model. So basically, whenever you are trying to persuade someone, when you are trying to persuade your sibling, your son, your daughter, or in your office, we always try to reason that okay, this is the logic, this is why we should do it. But instead of doing that, appeal to the interest. Try to understand what is the behavior, what is the interest that the interest that is making the person do particular behavior. So this is the main mental model. So appeal to interest, not to reason. We'll go for the next mental model after the speech section. So we'll start with the prepared speech section. So John Ford said, "You can speak well if your tongue can deliver the message of your heart." So our speaker number one today is a very new Toastmaster. She has just joined in September. She is a BTech. She is working with Henkel. Her hobbies are playing badminton and swimming. It's an icebreaker speech. Now for everyone, in an icebreaker speech, when the speech is over, we give a standing applause to encourage the speaker even more. So after the speech, we are going to give a standing applause to Toastmaster Aparna. I would like to request Toastmaster Ajay to please read out the speech objectives.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Toastmaster Aparna is going to deliver her icebreaker speech. So in icebreaker speech, the objective is to structure her speech and to introduce herself to the class. So I congratulate Aparna for starting her journey on behalf of MCDC. I'm sure she will be having fulfilling journey in terms of her self improvement. Best of luck, and I'm sure we are going to have a good study experience today.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Toastmaster Aparna. Toastmaster Aparna, story of my life, Toastmaster Aparna.
Thank you everyone. Very good morning. Thank you Deepanshu for such a wonderful introduction. Today is my first icebreaker speech. If I make mistake, please bear with me. And if my confidence gets shaky, then please cheer me. So, without any further ado, I wanted to begin my session by asking one fundamental question. Everyone in this room, how many of you feel that they know completely about themselves? Please raise your hand. Okay, so I'll just moderate my question by saying, to an extent, you feel that you know about yourself. So the matter of fact is, it's true that nobody can know completely about oneself. So, which brings to a topic of my speech, and I'll make an attempt to tell you how much I know about myself. So, story of my life is the topic speech. So, I have fragmented my life into three parts. Past me, the person whom I used to be. Present me, the person who I am. Future me, the person whom I seek to be. So let's time travel back to 90s in an attempt to hide my age. So I've kept it as I am a 90s kid. So my family background is my mother is a housewife, my father is a businessman. I have one elder brother who recently got married. I was born in Punjab, brought up in Indore, and to 3 years of an extent, I've also lived in Batula. As a kid, I was an extrovert child. I was so much so. If I have to define myself in a one word, I was a go-getter person. Be it in a sports, be it in any cultural activities, I was there. There was no need of invitation for me. I always used to participate in every cultural activities. In academics, I was able to manage one night before I used to study, and then score to reach to a merit level, which was decent and which used to make my parents happy. But there is nothing permanent in our life. Change is the only constant in each one's of life. I moved to a different city in Batinda. That time I was in a 10th standard. Altogether, the whole environment around me changed. As I'm sure everyone in this room was formulated in a way by saying that each one of you should score well in their academics, then they can, have a better future. So I stopped one particular thing which I really enjoyed in my life, that was playing sports, and devoted my entire energy into academics. As a result of which I lost as a result of which it impacted me so significantly that I not only affected my mental health but also my physical health. I became obese and lost all the confidence. At this phase of my life, from extrovert person I became an introvert person. After 3 years, I did manage to score well. I topped my all 3 years of my academics from 10th, 11th, and 12th, and I managed to settle for a good engineering college. But I realized all I had was good marks, but no good memories. Since I did not approach or did not talk to anyone and invested my whole energy into my education. So I promised myself that no matter whatever happens in my engineering journey, I'll not end up only with good grades, but also with good memories. So I took an initiative. I changed my attitude. No matter whatsoever happened, I'll not be this pathetic person whom I used to be, who has only grades but no good memories. So in the second year of my engineering college, in my second year of my engineering college, I joined a sports team. This really impacted my life. From 5 years, when I stopped when I stopped playing sports, I really focused myself towards my mental health, which really and also my physical health. The moment my weight started reducing, also started rising up, and I forced myself to be part of any kind of activities I can approve, be it like technical presentation competition, be it any cultural festivities. So I ensured that I was there and at least making an attempt to be back as a person whom I was as a child. Now, which brings to me the second phase of my life, who I am. So currently, I'm a sales and marketing professional. I'm working in Henkel Adhesive, and I'm still continuing my sports activity. And the person whom I seek to be in future, I've fragmented into two parts. One is the professional part and the personal part. Personal part is very simple, that I want to be very kind, humble, and happy person. This is the bottom line, which I have understood from my whole life experience. So professional part is marketing leader. Now, if I talk to be a marketing leader, I think there is a gap from a present and a future. I need to climb a ladder of improvement, and that improvement ladder is public speaking. So here I am on Toastmaster to just improve my public speaking skill and to be a better person. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Aparna, for a wonderful speech. Aparna has so much humility because merit level for her is decent. So with this, we have 1 minute silence for feedback. I will request everyone to please give your valuable feedback. If it is taking time, can you have 2 minutes after the second speech? Okay, sure. So we'll have 2 minutes after the second speech for the both feedbacks. Our speaker number 2 is someone who has one of the founding members of our club. He is a past president. He's a member since September 2016. He's a BTech MBA. He's currently working as head business finance at Cars 24. His hobbies are learning new skills. And today he's going to give his speech on the pathway, innovative planning, and his project is level 2, and his second speech of level 2. I will like to request Toastmaster Ashidar to please read out the speech objective.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I am delivering speech of Toastmaster Sashi. The purpose statement of this speech is the purpose of this project is for the member to practice that skill needed to connect with unfamiliar audience. Either he can use an unfamiliar topic with an unknown audience. Right, so there are two objectives. One objective, familiar topic, familiar audiences, or unfamiliar audiences, familiar topic.
Thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Toastmaster Sashi. Clap, guys. Toastmaster Sashi, my first trip abroad, Toastmaster Sashi.
During my childhood, I dreamed of visiting a foreign country. We Indians are passionate about three things: cricket, food, and Bollywood. And my dream to visit a foreign country was definitely inspired by none other than famous Bollywood Indian movies. How many of you can recall the songs of Yash Raj film in the 90s? Almost all of you. Actors dancing in the beautiful scenery of rains, mountains, clouds, snows. Anybody can be inspired by that. So I was definitely inspired. However, let me confess, there was another reason. My fellow Toastmasters and guests, there was an incident when I was at a very young age. I must be around 13, 14 years of age. And at such a young age, I was, I was quite an innocent child. Hot red blood was flowing through my veins. And I was watching an English movie with some of my friends. One of my friends mentioned that the blonde actress has blue eye and she looked like a fairy. My friend, my passion, my excitement to visit a blonde increased sadly at that very moment. I am from Bihar, and the only place which I have visited till most part of my life was Nepal. I'm sure how many of you have visited Nepal? Yeah, some of you. But I'm sure that every Bihari must have visited Nepal. Because Bihar-Nepal border is so porous that even an elephant can cross without being noticed. So please don't count my visit to Nepal as my first trip abroad. I didn't know that I had to wait for such a long time to fulfill my dream. The opportune moment came. It came somewhere around 2013 when I got opportunity to visit land of dreams, America. It was an official trip, but I extended it for a couple of days. And there are few incidents which is quite memorable to me, and I would like to share with all of you. The first incident is encounter with the immigrant officer. At that point of time around 2012-13, Shahrukh Khan incident was quite notorious. You must recall that he was body searched, so I was definitely frightened. Traveling to a foreign country and that also being alone, so I was literally shivering after reaching to the airport. I went to the immigration counter. There was a fat American officer sitting there, uh, and when I went there, he stared directly into my eyes. I was literally shivering as I told. He asked me for my document. I handed over the document. He asked, "Where are you from?" I said, Bihar. Bihar? Bihar, which is located in the northern part of the country. I don't know why he got suspicious. He checked all my documents, literally asked multiple questions. I thought my dream of visiting a foreign country is going to be a dream. But anyway, after 15-30 minutes of questioning, he cleared and I finally landed into Vegas. Now, the second incident, the Vegas visit. After the official tour, it was time for fun. You must be knowing that Vegas is famous for casinos, shows, clubs. But I didn't know that I'm such a boring person when I am alone. I didn't know how to play poker. I didn't know how to play cards. So I ended up playing with machines. When a sequence of numbers comes, you win, otherwise you don't. And also casino is run by very smart people. So I ended up losing lots of money. For shows, I made a mistake. I didn't book the ticket in advance. Since there was a rush in the Vegas, so all the popular shows were booked. Ended up watching subpar shows. For clubs, again, I am a shy person and I was alone. So I couldn't enter into club because obviously clubs require more than one people to enter, at least in America. So I was very frustrated to be very frank. But at the last day, I, I somehow I brought some courage. I went there, and luckily I met an American blonde girl. Remember my dream American blonde girl. I ended up asking her, and she agreed, and we entered into the club, and we had a great fun. Rest, I leave up to your imagination. Because what happened in Vegas, should stay in Vegas. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sashi, for that stirring speech. We'll have 2 minutes silence for feedback of Toastmaster Aparna and Toastmaster Sashi. Requesting the members, please help the guests with the QR code. Did you get the QR code? Ashish sir, can you help with the QR code? you everyone. Thank you very much for your valuable feedback. Our speaker number 3 for today is a member since September 2021. He's a BTech. He is currently working as Principal Technical Officer at KBR. His hobbies are traveling. His pathway is persuasive influence, and he is going to give a speech on level 3 and the first speech of level 3. I would like to request Toastmaster Bhanu to please read out the speech objective of Toastmaster Ajay.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests.
Good morning.
Very often in our lives, we got into conflicts. Many times in our offices with our boss, many times at home with our spouses, and if you live in Gurgaon, many times at the road. So today, Toastmaster Ajay is going to share his experience and aspects of his experience learning about conflict resolution or resolving a conflict. All the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, with huge round of applause, please welcome Toastmaster Ajay.
This is you just copied from somewhere else. I don't travel.
So, Toastmaster Ajay, AAA Toastmaster.
Thank you. It is frustrating. It is draining. It is negative. It does not let you concentrate. Life would have been a joyride if it was not there. Ladies and gentlemen, our dear guests, I'm talking about the conflict. But what if I say that it can be, and mark my words, can be a possibility, a solution, or beginning of something new? Oftentimes we get some advices on how to handle conflicts, and one of them is avoid them. Like there's this kind of play. Can we avoid? Do you agree with this? We should avoid? No. No, as my evaluator just said, there's one conflict we should definitely avoid is getting into a road rage, where your chances of getting shot is very high, especially in Delhi NCR. Now, another advice we mostly get is to communicate, to ask. You agree with this one? Yes. But it also has its dangers. Take for example, what the hell is your problem? Is it communication? Kind of. Is it asking? Yes. But can it solve anything? Probably not. It can only make things worse. Another advice is compromise. Let's see how many of you agree with this one. Nobody is agreeing with me now. We have a conflict. See. So, take an example. Shekhar, he's returning from office, called his wife Priya, and the conversation goes like this: "Hey, let's have a pizza tonight, and I have a game to watch." Now, Priya spent her entire day learning a new recipe which she wanted to surprise her husband. But in order to avoid a conflict, she agreed with pizza and said, "Yeah, okay." Listen to the tone. "Yeah, okay." A compromise is made and the conflict averted, but only for a while. The problem with the compromise is that over time it fills you with resentment. It chips away a part of your little self-worth every time you made a compromise, and soon you will start thinking that why is it only me who has to compromise? Is it only my responsibility that the relationship should work? And one day your resentment blew out of proportion and your relationship just came down. Although these were well-intentioned advices, but they are not enough. They just made these conflicts look like problems. But if you follow a simple three-step formula, these conflicts can appear as more as a solution than as a problem. I call it AAA, where the first A is acknowledge. Acknowledge that there is a conflict which needs your attention, which needs to be solved. No compromise, no avoiding. Had Priya told her Shekhar that she wanted to try a new recipe, she spent her entire day. How much work she had put in. The things might have been different. They might have ordered pizza on weekend, Or Shekhar would have loved this idea, jumped on it, and missed this game and helped her in kitchen. And that could have been the start of a beautiful and healthy relationship. But alas. Second A is active listening. The most important thing which we can do to a person or which we can give to a person is our undivided attention, especially when they are sharing their griefs, their grievances. Avoid interruption and hold your urge to respond. Imagine if Priya was saying to Shekhar that, hey, I wanted to try a new recipe tonight, and Shekhar just interrupted in between and said, we can talk about this later. Don't you see I'm watching a game? Later, he will never ask, and she will never tell. And this will be a sure recipe for disaster. Now, have you ever thought yourself or got into a situation where, or a conflict where there's no getting out, or are you getting into same kind of conflicts over and over? Does it happen to you? This happens because we always put our armor of justification and defensiveness and armed ourselves with our blames and accusations. Like it's a battle and we need to win. Justification in a conflict means being blameless. This is so much seductive. Being blameless in a conflict means you don't have to do anything. You don't have to improve. It is all other person's fault. It is their responsibility and they have to improve. So but in order to resolve a conflict or to build something new, you must get rid of your armors, your weapons, and go barehanded. You need to show your vulnerable side. And that is our third and last A. Admit. Admit when you are at fault. Apologize unconditionally. See, if Shekhar told Priya that, Priya, I'm sorry, I was very rude there. Let's try the recipe of yours that you were talking about. It would have been difficult. A sincere apology can melt the strongest of hearts. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a simple three-step formula triple A. Acknowledge the conflict, and active listening, and admit. I'm not claiming that this is a magic pill. Once you pop in and everything will be trouble-free, but it's like learning a new language. The more you practice, the more fluent you become. So when you go home today and go to your workplaces, try practicing it and see if you can turn your conflicts into your solution. Thank you very much. Over to you, Shreya.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ajay. I think Toastmaster Ajay can also start a parallel career of counselor for the husbands. So we'll have 1 minute silence for feedback for Toastmaster Ajay, requesting you to please give your valuable feedback for Toastmaster Ajay.